We are about to have our fifth named storm of the season. I'm meteorologist Gary Lezak with Weather 2020, and yes, this will be 5 for 5. I'm predicting the systems this season with the LRC. It's pretty incredible. Let me show you and take you through this. All right, first of all, let's start by taking a look at the disturbance in question right in here. You can see right there, this one is organized. The one coming off of Africa needs to be watched, but it doesn't look organized. And all these others are small little thunderstorm complexes that show no organization. This is the one of interest. Here are the outer islands. The big question is, will this track farther south of Puerto Rico, or will it track towards Puerto Rico and then north? If it stays farther south, it has a better chance than impacting land areas. So something we have to watch very, very closely. Right now, there's a lot of questions on that, but the trend is for it to go a little bit farther to the north. Let me take you through this in our presentation today. All right, so the next storm predicted by the LRC will likely be named Ernesto soon. In the next 2 days, 3 days, we should have Tropical Storm Ernesto forming into a hurricane. The National Hurricane Center is tracking this system, and here are those outer islands, and they're saying that there's an 80% chance of development. We obviously think that that means 100% chance of development. So this is going to develop, again, a little bit south. It could threaten the United States. A little bit farther north, it's going to curve out to sea. Alberto, Beryl, Chris, and Debbie, all predicted by the LRC. The big ones, Major Hurricane Beryl, we had months warning on that one. And then Hurricane Debbie as well, predicted far in advance, 150 days in advance. The next ones are Ernesto and then Francine. For the season, we predicted back on March 3rd, and we don't change our predictions because it's based on the LRC. We already knew what this pattern was likely going to produce, and it's doing almost exactly what we said so far. 14 to 19 named storms. The average is 14, so a little bit above average. We're at 4, which is a little bit above average so far. And 7 to 10 hurricanes. There have been 2. 4 to 5 major hurricanes are forecast. There have been 1, Beryl. And then the ACE, we're expecting a little bit above average, 150. We're way above average on the ACE because of how strong Beryl was. 2 years ago, Weather 2020 made the best forecast. Look at Colorado State University's forecast for their hurricane season 2 years ago. 180 ACE. They thought it'd be hyperactive like this season. We went with 75, and it ended up being 95 on the ACE. All right, so Weather 2020 made the best forecast by far 2 years ago. Last year, Colorado State thought it'd be below average, 100, and it ended up being 143 on ACE. We predicted 130. So it's 2 years in a row, Weather 2020 has been the most accurate. And this year, again, we are the lowest number of named storms and the lowest ACE, 125 to 125 to 175 is our forecast. We're way above average right now, so we'll see how this pans out. This is one of our predictions. I tweeted this out on July 25th, and I drew this in because that's where I thought the hurricane would be developing in mid to late August. And sure enough, it's literally developing north of the islands by a week from now. However, watch where it's forecast to track on the American model. Notice how it goes off to the northeast. Look at that again. There it is, not threatening the United States to the northeast. What we have to watch is will it be tracking farther south than this? Then it has a chance of coming closer to land. So we have to still monitor this closely, as we are not convinced of this track yet. Why is it being flicked out to the northeast over the Atlantic this time? There's a big trough off the east coast forecasted to be in position on late next week, and that trough is much larger than this little dinky thing. A powerful hurricane is a small scale feature compared to these big troughs, but the big trough is so much energy that it's able to just flick the hurricane out. Again, if the hurricane is farther south down in here, it could be a little bit different of a scenario. So we have to continue to watch this very, very closely. We have these early indicators that we identify. If you're new to the LRC, each one of these tropical systems has an early indicator, and the LRC is able to predict way in advance these tropical systems. So we talk about all this in our reports each week. So there is your updated quick tropical update for today. Hope everyone's doing fantastic. We'll watch this closely. This system, if it were forming 3 days later, it would have a better chance to hitting the United States. It's literally timed in such a way where that trough is there, and it should flick it out to sea. We'll see if we think that here in a few days. I'm meteorologist Gary Lezak, and let me know if you have any questions.